There is something you need to hear before you continue your week. There is a type of exhaustion that doesn't show up in medical exams. It is not the exhaustion of the body, not the exhaustion of routine, not the exhaustion of work. It is the exhaustion of continuing to signal that you are someone who needs to be chosen, someone who needs to be noticed, someone who needs to convince the world every single day that they deserve to be where they are. You know exactly what I am talking about. It is that feeling that, even while doing everything right, you continue to be the last one to be remembered. The messages you send arrive as seen and return without a reply. The people you helped yesterday forget your name when they need to reciprocate today. Opportunities pass so close that you feel their wind, but the door never opens on your side. And the worst part is the explanation you give yourself at the end of the day, lying down, staring at the ceiling. It must be me. That is the oldest lie we tell ourselves to get to sleep. And it ends today. This video is about the only thing that truly changes this. It is not luck. It is not a magical date on the calendar. It is not waiting for the universe to fulfill a promise you think it made to you. It is an internal turn that happens in silence, without warning, without witnesses, and that reorganizes absolutely everything that comes after. If you arrived here today, on any day of the week, at any time, it was not by chance. Some part of you has already grown tired. Some part of you already knows that something needs to stop. And it is exactly from this point that we will start. Before continuing, do one small thing, but one that changes everything. Leave your like right here below now, not at the end of the video now, while the feeling is still alive. This simple gesture signals that there is someone else breathing the same way you are at this moment, and the content reaches those who are living a night similar to yours. If you want to be part of this for longer, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. What is coming in the next few weeks is precisely the material that no one has given you in the last 20 years. Let's start with the part that hurts before reaching the part that sets you free. You don't realize it.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who were tired of living in the fog, ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.
But you emit a signal all the time. It is nothing mystical. It is something much simpler and much crueler. It is the internal posture you carry before anyone even opens their mouth to answer you. When you walk into a meeting already apologizing for being there, people pick up on that before your first sentence. When you send a loving message apologizing for bothering, whoever reads it on the other side decides the value of your presence before even reading the content. When you accept a job offer with exaggerated gratitude for them giving you a chance, you have just signed an invisible contract. The contract that you will accept less than you deserve for as long as you stay there. This signal is not a mystical frequency. It is something much more concrete. It is the way you treat yourself in silence. It is the tone of your internal voice when no one is listening. It is the way you react when someone compliments you with discomfort, doubt, a desire to downplay it. It is the speed at which you apologize for things that are not your fault. It is the effort you make not to take up space. It is your automatic willingness to explain, justify, soften, please. Whoever observes you from the outside does not see your resume, your history, your qualifications, your sacrifices. Whoever observes you from the outside captures only one thing: how much you believe in yourself. And that is exactly the filter that decides who gets close, who ignores you, who seeks you out, who forgets you, who offers you the best, and who offers you the scraps. Think about something that hurts. People do not treat you by your value. They treat you by the value you demonstrate having for yourself. This explains something that never added up in your head. Why mediocre people with half your preparation get opportunities you aren't even invited to compete for. Why people with half your history of suffering and maturity attract relationships that last, while you attract people who disappear. Why the world seems to privilege those who have less and ignore those who gave more. It is not cosmic injustice, it is not karma, it is not spiritual punishment. It is a simple and brutal detail. The world responds to the signal you emit, and the signal you emit is the sum of all the times you betrayed yourself in silence. Every time you accepted what you didn't want to accept to avoid displeasing others. Every time you lowered your standards to avoid being alone. Every time you smiled at someone who hurt you to avoid creating trouble. Every time you stayed silent when you should have said no. All those times added an invisible layer to your internal posture. And it is this layer that the world reads. The good news is simple. What was added can be dissolved, and it doesn't take decades. It takes a decision. But before reaching that decision, you need to see clearly what this posture has cost you until now. Because without seeing the price, no one changes. And that is why this next part is the hardest part of the video. I want you to think about what you lost without anyone warning you that you were losing it. I am not talking about the visible tragedies. I am talking about the silent losses. The ones that don't become a chapter in a story, that don't generate conversation, that don't yield photos, but that build year after year a life that fell short of what it could have been. Think about the times you had a good idea in a meeting and held it back. Think about the times you knew you deserved a raise and didn't ask. Think about how many relationships you prolonged years longer than you should have, out of fear of the silence of an empty room. Think about how many friends you still treat with patience, even knowing that on the other side, there is no reciprocity at all. Think about the trips you never took because it wasn't the time. Think about the difficult conversations you postponed thinking that time would solve them, and time didn't solve them. It only aged you while carrying the same weight. Each of these small choices seemed harmless at the time. Just this once. It's not worth fighting over. I can handle it. I'll talk later. But the later became a whole life of postponement. And today, if you are over 35, you already have enough data to see the pattern. You have lived enough to know it is not a lack of opportunity. It is something in the way you position yourself in front of it. There is a scene that has probably already happened to you. You are in a restaurant. You receive the wrong dish and you sit there in silence eating what you didn't order, so as not to cause trouble for the waiter. It seems small. It is not. It is a living metaphor for your entire life. How many times have you eaten the wrong dish in silence because you thought complaining would be a burden to someone? How many times have you accepted the life that was served on your table instead of asking for what you really wanted? And the worst part of this story is not the wrong dish. The worst part is what it taught you about yourself. Each small internal betrayal taught you that your will is less important than the comfort of others. Each swallowed lump in your throat taught you that asking is bothering. Each fake smile taught you that your authenticity is too expensive for the environment you are in. And when you repeat this for decades, it becomes an identity. You start to think that this is just who I am. It is not. It is how you were trained to be. And training is undone with new training. This is where I need you to stop. Look into your chest and answer sincerely with no one watching. Did you like recognizing yourself just now? If the answer is a lump in your throat, great. It is exactly this lump that will pull the turn that comes next. But before that, if this is making sense so far, comment the word EU Escolo down below. This word is a silent signature. It is your way of telling your own internal system that you are ready to stop accepting what you had been accepting. It is not magic. It is a marker, and the markers we place on purpose change the way we remember the moment. Comment now. Continue the video right after. Now we need to go a little deeper, because this posture of someone who needs to be chosen was not born with you. You didn't come into the world apologizing for your own existence. At some point, this was installed, and until you see where the installation was, any change will be temporary. Most people who carry this pattern learned in childhood a simple and devastating equation. Love is something you earn. Love is not a right. Love is a prize. When you were good, you received affection. When you were troublesome, you received silence. When you did what they expected, you were chosen. When you deviated from expectation, you were corrected. Without anyone telling you in words, a contract was registered inside you. To be loved, I need to deliver. And you delivered. You delivered your whole life. There is an entire generation of Brazilians who grew up with parents who came from the countryside, who came from scarcity, who came from hard work, and who confused love with demands because it was the only way they knew how to show care. It wasn't malice. It was inherited limitation. But your generation pays this bill today in the form of anxiety in the chest when someone takes a while to reply to a message, in the form of panic when a relationship threatens to end, in the form of an inability to rest without feeling guilty, in the form of an absurd difficulty in receiving a compliment without countering it. And then you grew up, became an adult, built a life, and took the contract with you. Without realizing it, you reproduced the same equation in all environments. At work, you are the first to arrive and the last to leave, thinking that the extra effort will guarantee you recognition. It doesn't guarantee it. At home, you are the one who takes care of everyone, thinking that the care will guarantee you presence. It doesn't guarantee it. In friendships, you are the one who remembers birthdays, who sends messages on dates, who goes out of your way, and none of that guarantees you reciprocity. Why doesn't it guarantee it? Because sustainable relationships do not work based on merit. They work based on resonance. People don't stay with you because you deserve it. They stay with you when they feel good around you. And you don't feel good around someone who is always trying to prove they deserve it. The person who goes out of their way emits an invisible message that says, I don't think I am enough as I am. And this, without anyone needing to verbalize it, pushes people away. Not because the other is cruel, but because no one wants to be around someone who cannot be around themselves. This is the most painful and most liberating point of all. What keeps you away from the right people is not your lack. It is your excess. It is how much you offer yourself. It is how much you bend. It is how much you try. Because all of this is the silent confession that you don't believe that just being who you are is enough. And it is precisely this that needs to die for the new thing to be born. Before I show you how this symbolic death happens, and it is simpler than you imagine, I need to ask you one thing. If this video is finding you exactly where you needed to be found, share it with someone. You have one person in mind right now, probably a brother, a sister, a friend, someone you know who carries this same weight. Sharing is the most beautiful way to give back what you are receiving. Do it. Send it now, before you forget. Here the turn begins. And there is nothing spectacular about it. There is no background music, there is no epiphany, there is no vision. The silent decision that changes everything is so subtle that most people who have gone through it take months to realize it happened. The turn happens at a specific moment, usually alone. You're doing something banal, washing dishes, driving, taking a shower, and out of nowhere a phrase appears in your head with a clarity you didn't have before. The phrase varies, but the content is always the same. I won't anymore. Enough. I don't want this for myself anymore. This is not how I want to live. It may seem like any random thought, but there is something different about it. There is a firmness. There is a deep exhaustion that has turned into a decision. This phrase is not a thought, it is a milestone. And what happened in that second was that a part of you that had been ignored for decades finally received permission to exist. It is not a new part. It is the oldest part of you, the original part, the one that existed before you learned to mold yourself to fit in. And it was just waiting for you to have the courage to get tired. From this moment on, 3 things begin to change, even without you trying to change. The first is that you start to hear an internal no that you had never heard with such clarity. Before, when a situation appeared that diminished you, your internal voice was confused, divided, negotiating. Now it is direct. Not here, not this, not today. You don't need to force yourself to say no. The no arises before the reasoning. This is the earliest sign that something has changed places inside you. The second thing is a strange feeling of calm in the face of what used to terrify you. Imagine a classic situation. Someone takes a while to reply to your message. Before, this would activate an entire mental circuit. Did I say something wrong? Are they angry? Let me send another message. After the turn, the same situation happens, and you simply don't enter the circuit. You notice the silence. You accept the silence. You continue your life. It is not coldness. It is something deeper. It is the recovery of your ability to be okay with yourself while the world decides what it is going to do. The third is the most beautiful and the one that reorganizes everything. You start to get annoyed with what used to seem normal to you. Behaviors you tolerated start to seem absurd. Environments you frequented start to seem small. Conversations that seemed interesting start to seem shallow. It is not arrogance, it is calibration. Your tolerance for what diminishes you has simply dropped. And when the tolerance for what diminishes you drops, it automatically opens space for what elevates you to enter. This opening of space is what many people confuse with magical attraction. It is not magic, it is logic. Imagine your life as a glass. If it is full of muddy water, there is no space for clean water to enter. It doesn't matter how much clean water the universe pours on you, it won't fit. The turn is not the universe pouring new things. The turn is you emptying the glass. And when you empty it, what has always been available in the environment finally finds space to occupy. And this is where your life starts to look like someone else's. Not because it changed, because what fits in it changed. You will start to notice some strange things, and it is important for me to warn you now so you don't confuse the signs. The first strange thing is a wave of withdrawal. Some people, usually those who were closest to you, will start to cool off. It is not a coincidence. When you change your internal posture, you change the dynamics of any relationship that was sustained by your old posture. People who benefited from your pattern of serving, accepting, softening, and disappearing can no longer feel comfortable with the new you. Some will try to bring you back. Others will simply distance themselves. And most will do this without saying it in words. You will only notice by their absence in moments where they would have been before. This withdrawal is painful, but it is the most important test of the process, because it hurts exactly on the old wound. The part of you that hasn't healed yet will want to chase after them. It will want to go back to bending over to regain that person's presence. And it is exactly at this point that the turn is consolidated or collapses. If you chase after them, you go back to the old contract. If you stay with yourself during the discomfort, you seal the turn in a way that there is no turning back. The second strange thing is the appearance of people you didn't even know existed. Someone recommends you for a job without you asking. Someone strikes up a conversation in a line with a proposal that matches exactly what you wanted. Someone calls you after 5 years of disappearing to resume a partnership. These encounters are not miracles. They are the natural result of you having stopped blocking what has always been available. These encounters were always there. You were the one who was too busy holding on to what needed to leave to notice what was arriving. The third is the most subtle and the most transformative. You start to make decisions that you previously considered impossible. Asking for a raise, ending a toxic friendship, refusing an invitation that doesn't serve you, telling the truth in a difficult conversation, investing in something you postponed for years, starting therapy, returning to study, moving to a new city. The decisions change because the person who decides has changed. And when the decisions change, life changes in months, not decades. I want to give you a very Brazilian example for you to anchor this. Think of that person you know who spent 30 years in a job they hated, enduring a humiliating boss, promising they would change next year. At some point, they changed. And when you asked what happened, they said a phrase that stuck with you. One day I got tired. It wasn't a course, it wasn't a book, it wasn't a guru. It was an exhaustion that turned into a decision. And in 3 months, their life was reorganized in a way they spent 30 years thinking was impossible. This happened because when their internal system changed, the external environment adapted at a speed no one imagined. You are at that point now. The exhaustion has already arrived. The decision is ripe. What is missing is for you not to confuse discomfort with error. The discomfort that comes in the next few weeks is not a sign that you are going down the wrong path. It is exactly the opposite. It is the confirmation that you have left the path that diminished you. And every new path in the beginning seems strange. Strange is not a sign of wrong. Strange is a sign of new. Before we get to the practical signs for you to recognize this turn happening in real time in your life, I need you to commit to one thing. Subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. Not for the channel, for you. Because what is coming in the next videos is the direct continuation of this process, and subscribing is the simplest way to ensure that you won't depend on the luck of the algorithm to find the next chapter of your own story. There are 5 very concrete signs that your turn has already begun. I will list them with you now, and I want you to mentally note which ones have already appeared in your life in the last few weeks. There is no right or wrong. There is only observation. And honest observation is half of the transformation. The first sign is a change in sleep. It is not classic insomnia. It is a lighter sleep with clearer dreams, and sometimes a feeling of waking up before the alarm clock with clarity about something you needed to decide. Research in clinical psychology, followed by institutions like USP and UniFSP, has already shown that deep cognitive restructuring processes have a direct impact on sleep architecture in the first few weeks. You are not going crazy. Your system is processing. The second sign is a new intolerance to noise, crowds, and superficial conversations. You stay in an environment that used to amuse you and discover you are just waiting to leave. It is not depression, it is reorientation. Your attention is being recalibrated to things that have density, and what doesn't have density starts to feel like an assault on your energy. The third is an almost physical desire to organize things. It could be the closet, it could be the computer files, it could be your finances, it could be your routine. This impulse is not an organizational mania. It is the external manifestation of an internal movement. You are putting order in yourself, and the external needs to keep up so as not to create dissonance. Many people who are at this point discover that reorganizing a drawer unlocks something emotional that entire therapy sessions hadn't reached. It is not magic. It is the body talking to the mind through the only language it knows, which is gesture. The fourth sign is the most beautiful and the most disturbing. You start to cry over small things. A song that plays in the car, a banal scene in a soap opera, a child saying something funny, a memory that appeared on its own. This crying is not sadness. It is your system unfreezing what has been stored for years. You are releasing old cargo. Accept the crying. Don't avoid it. Don't hide it. Every tear that falls during this period is meters of space being opened inside you for the new thing to enter. The fifth is the most decisive. You start to feel lonelier even surrounded by people, and simultaneously less lonely when you are with yourself. This paradox is the clearest sign that your primary relationship, the one you have with yourself, is finally being rebuilt. When you improve your internal company, your tolerance for mediocre external company plummets. And it is exactly at this point that, almost always, new people of much higher quality than what you attracted before appear. Not because the universe sent them to you, because you finally stopped accepting less. If you recognized at least 3 of these 5 signs, pay attention. You are not in a crisis, you are in a turn. And a turn is not interrupted. A turn is crossed. Those who try to go back to the previous stage at this point suffer double. Those who accept the discomfort cross in weeks what other people take decades to conclude. Comment down below which of these 5 signs you recognized most strongly in your life in the last few weeks. I want to read them. And whoever is reading the comments will realize they are not alone. They will see dozens of people describing exactly the same process at the same time in different parts of Brazil. This in itself is the first gift of the turn. Discovering that what you felt was exclusively yours is in fact collective. Now let's go to the most practical part. What changes in your day-to-day life after this turn is consolidated? What is it like to live in the new standard? The first thing that changes is the response time. Before, you responded too quickly. A message arrived, you replied in 3 minutes. An invitation came, you said yes before thinking. A request arrived, you promised to deliver before evaluating if you were able to. After the turn, you start to have an interval between the stimulus and the response. It is not coldness, it is awareness. This interval, even if it is 15 minutes, is the space where you ask yourself, does this serve me? And this simple question, asked with honesty, reorganizes your whole life. The second change is the relearning of the no. You discover that saying no is not rudeness. It is not a lack of affection. It is not selfishness. It is the cleanest way to respect yourself and the other. Because when you say yes without wanting to, you create an expectation that you will deliver poorly. When you say no with clarity, you free the other to seek someone who can actually deliver well. This doesn't hurt anyone. This sets both sides free. The third change is a new tranquility with losses. You discover that losing people, losing opportunities, losing an environment, losing an old version of yourself, all of this stops being a tragedy. It becomes a cycle. It becomes a process. It becomes breathing. You inhale what serves you and exhale what no longer serves you. And this simple ability to exhale with peace is one of the greatest achievements of an adult life. Research conducted at centers like Harvard, Stanford, and the Fundação Getúlio Vargas, in different contexts of well-being, repeats the same finding. People with a high capacity to let go report significantly higher levels of general satisfaction than people with a high capacity to accumulate. Life is not what you gather, it is what you go through. The fourth change, which very few people describe, is a surprising return of pleasure in small things. Breakfast alone on a Sunday becomes an event. The 15-minute walk before work becomes a ritual. The 5-minute conversation with the building's doorman becomes a moment. Your ability to extract density from the simple multiplies, and you discover that the life you spent your whole life trying to reach in big things was hidden in the small ones all along. The fifth and most important, you stop living in waiting. Before, your life had a hypothetical future. When I get that, I will live. When the right relationship appears, I will be happy. When I have enough money, I will rest. When my mother understands, I will be free. After the turn, these whens disappear. You start to live in May, on a Tuesday at noon in breath. And this direct relationship with the present gives you back an amount of lifetime you didn't even know you were losing. And here is something I need to tell you with great honesty. Everything I have just described is not destiny. It is a choice. And it is a choice that renews itself every day. The turn begins in a silent decision, but it is sustained by a series of small, daily decisions. Every time you don't respond too quickly, you sustain it. Every time you say no with clarity, you sustain it. Every time you go through discomfort without running away, you sustain it. Every time you choose what serves you instead of what pleases others, you sustain it. The turn is not a point, it is a path, and a path is walked step by step. Before I close, I want to give you a phrase for you to keep and take with you. Repeat it in your head as many times as you need this week. The phrase is, I don't need to prove that I deserve to be here. I am already here. Apparently simple. But if you pay attention to what this phrase does inside you when you repeat it slowly, you will feel something giving way. That old tension, that chronic demand, that vigilance you couldn't turn off. All of this loosens up a little. Repeat it 3 times in silence now. You have just made a micro turn, and micro turns repeated become macro turns. There is no other way. Everything you are today is the sum of old micro decisions. Everything you will be 2 years from now is the sum of the micro decisions that start this week. To make this even more concrete, I want to give you a small exercise for the next 7 days. Every day before sleeping, you will write a single sentence on your phone or on a piece of paper. Today, I did not betray myself in such a situation. It can be small. It could be that you didn't reply to a message that pulled you into an old pattern. It could be that you didn't accept an invitation that didn't serve you. It could be that you didn't lower your head in a conversation that asked for your voice. The size doesn't matter. The record matters. In 7 days, you will have 7 written proofs that you are capable, and these proofs start to replace the old stories you told about yourself. If you did all this, commented EU Escolo, left your like, subscribed, shared with that person, now turn on the notifications. In the next video, I will show you something that no one usually talks about. What to do when the turn has already happened, but the people around you still treat you as if you were the old version. Because this is one of the most difficult points of the process, and the way you go through this phase decides if the turn is consolidated or goes back. This video will go live soon, and those who turned on the bell will receive it first. For today, that's it. You didn't arrive here for nothing. You arrived because some part of you got tired of accepting what you had been accepting, and you won't need a magical date, a portal, an astrological conjunction, or anyone authorizing you to start. You only need the silence of the next 5 minutes after this video ends. Stay in silence, don't pick up your phone, breathe deeply 3 times, and let the decision settle inside you. It has already begun. Now just don't get in the way of what is being born. Until our next meeting.
Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life, a guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming, with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10,000 readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you, who were tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.